everybody, and welcome to another episode of Wife for Life. I'm Michelle McElroy, your marriage specialist, and today, we got the queen bee of real estate up in here, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her and hear more about none other than Miss Sheena Baker. Help me welcome Sheena, y'all. Hey,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. I'm looking forward to what we got to talk about.
yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing everything you got to say because, as you know, I learned a lot from you. So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Sheena. I am a real estate agent in the western suburb areas. We also work in Chicago. I've been a realtor since 2006.
Woo.
I have a team of 4 of us, so we kind of go everywhere. I'm on the board of directors for our association. I'm on the board of directors at a regional alliance chamber in Aurora. I love giving back to the community and sharing whatever's in my brain with people that I know. I'm a dog mom to a mini golden doodle. I love to travel and just, have fun.
I
When I'm
love
not working.
that part. And boy, do you work. Now, guys, I just saw Sheena do a podcast earlier was it earlier this week?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And so I already found out some fun facts about Sheena, but we also go way back. Actually, Sheena had Ray and I do a event that she had where it was a panel discussion and we discussed relationships. And it was Ray and I and another realtor team that she knows. And I know I'm probably saying that word in a really bad way.
You okay, real tour. As long as it's not real tour.
Okay, good. I'm safe.
Yep.
I know it was a therapist on there and
Yep.
somebody else who was on there too.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just telling Sheena that was one of my first events where I was outside of my comfort zone and with a bunch of people that I did not already know. So that was awesome. But the thing that I found out about you that I want to start off discussing before we get to the events is when you bought your first house. When did you buy your first house?
I was 19. So 19 years old, I bought my first house. So I started to build at 19. I think by the time it finished, I was 20. But I put the down payment, started the construction. I was 19.
Oh my goodness. Okay, because I was gonna ask was it a fixer upper? Was it move-in ready? You did not just buy a house, you built a house at night.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. It was new construction. I know I shouldn't downplay it, but I'm like, it was a smaller home, like 2 bedrooms with a loft. But I remember when I decided to start looking for a house, I would be down on 290 or 88 and I would see the billboard for new construction homes in Aurora. And I think they were so starting at 109,000 or something low back then. And I think this was I'm 43. I think it was 2001 or somewhere around there, 2002. So I'm like, okay, well, I might as well buy something brand new then if they're like that. So me and my sister, we drove out to Aurora and they, looked at the model homes and I'm like, it's perfect. It's not too big for me. Had a 2-car garage. It was, 1.5 bath. I was like, this is a perfect for me. Everything is brand new. I'm like, why not? So, they don't have that type of new construction anymore. I wish my clients would love it, but that's kind of how I ended up with new construction. I didn't start out looking to build, but it kind of just happened that way.
Okay. So most people 18, 19, they still trying to save and do all this stuff. They still living with their parents. Give us the skinny. What, was you mad at your parents? You just had to go?
Yeah, girl, I could not wait to leave the house. I couldn't wait to move. So when my parents divorced, when I was in the 7th grade, 6th grade, and we moved every single year. Me and my brother were with my mom, and we would still have every other weekend at my dad's. But my mom, we moved every year. And so
Wow.
I was the new girl every year, new girl at school, new like that kind of. Now that I don't know if you even knew that about me, but that kind of explains how I can go into most social settings. It don't matter because I was used to being the new girl every single year. So
Wow.
by the time I got to my so eighth grade, I was at a new school. Well, actually, it should have been seventh grade. When I got to seventh grade, we moved to the west side of Chicago from Bellwood,
Mm.
and they were in on my seventh grade year, their books were fifth grade books that we had in Bellwood. So I went home and told my mom and my stepdad at the time. I was like, well, their books are so behind, and they went up to the school, so they skipped me from seventh grade to eighth grade.
Okay.
So I'm in a new school in Chicago, totally different than what I was used to being in an environment of,
Mm.
very diverse back then in Bellwood.
Yeah.
So eighth grade, I was in a different school, my ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. And then when I get to senior year, I begged the principal, can I please stay? Like, my mom moved again. So I would have went to a fourth school. I would have went to Rich South
Mm.
for my senior year. And I said, and so he felt so bad that I had been to all these different high schools that
Yeah.
he allowed me to drive from Richton Park every day to LaGrange to graduate at LT. So my last 2 years were spent at the same school. So by the time I get out of high school, I was over moving. I got a job. I was 17 when I graduated because I got skipped. So
Yeah.
had got a job, was making really good money. The company ended up being on just some craziness, and I was able to file a lawsuit. And that coworker could see the discrimination, and she was going through it herself. So we both did it. And so it wasn't even a lot of money. Now that I look back on it, it's probably 2 houses that I sell now or something. But back then at 18, I'm like, oh my God, this is like money. I can buy a house. And me and my sister were living in an apartment. And that's why I ended up buying a house. But I did move into an apartment with my sister as soon as I graduated high school. So
Mm.
we were roommates until I figured out that I wanted to buy something. But I knew I wanted to be in a place stable if it was in an apartment with my sister. But once I had the money to put down, I'm like, I am going to buy me a house, and I'm going to not, I didn't think I would ever move from that house. That's how like over moving every year I was.
Yeah. Man, and I mean, most people, I would think, start off with a starter home. So
Yeah.
that sounds fantastic. And most of our starter homes are not new construction.
True.
No, that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's awesome. I love that. And I love that you had the mindset and the wherewithal to do that. So, after getting your own home, is that when you decided to go into real estate? What prompted that?
So that did. So my corporate career, after I bought the home, I was HR and payroll. So I ran payrolls for companies, a lot of major corporations. I worked for a major payroll corporation, and I did that for 15 years.
Mhm.
But so I was newer in the field, probably 3 years when I ended up getting my real estate license. So I had been at my house for probably maybe 2 or 3 years at the time.
Mhm.
And people that I knew would say, why did you buy a house so young? Can you tell me how you bought the house so young? And I would tell them like my experience, and I would give them the realtor that I use.
Mhm.
After doing that probably a good 6-7 times, I'm like, man, I could be doing this on the side and making the additional income. Like, I always been really good like with budgeting, but I'm like, well, what would it hurt to have some extra money? So I ended up getting my real estate license in 2006. And then I just started to help family, friends, church members part-time. And they understood I wasn't like, I'm not full-time. I only can take you to see homes after work or on the weekends. Back then, houses weren't flying off the shelves like they do now.
Mhm.
So everybody was fine with it because they had to get off work as well. So it
Mhm.
kind of worked around my schedule, and it kept me busy enough, part-time. So full-time, I didn't go into that until at the end of 2013. I got divorced, and then I went full-time 2014.
Okay. All right. And so, what was it that caused you to go full time? What made you say, I'm leaving corporate America, I'm doing this full time?
I always wanted to do it, but I was just scared. Like, would I make enough income to support my like life?
Mhm.
Because it's commission based. Like, what if I don't sell enough this month to pay my bills?
Yeah.
But it was something about like getting divorced. It was like my mom had said, do in that time period, I'm like, I just felt like I wasn't happy with most things. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like defining myself at that time. And she
Mhm.
said, well, think about what it is that you enjoy doing and get up every day. And you would love to get up every day and do that. And I'm like, I would
Mm.
love to like do real estate. So I told my boss, we're still friends to this day, the boss that I had at that time. I'm like, I think I want to go and try real estate full time. Like, if it doesn't work out, I'll come back. But I'm like, I'm going to find somebody to replace me, which I did.
Mhm.
And then I just said, I contacted like someone to do, my brother-in-law at the time. They were living here. They live in Texas now, but he loves photography. So he
Mhm.
took my headshot pictures, I remember, in their backyard. I called like a graphic designer to get like business cards and all this stuff like started. And I ended up, I moved to a different brokerage that was like a big name brokerage. So people would really think that I'm serious about this.
Yeah.
And I went full time and it's been up since then. So yeah, so that kind of catapulted me to try it full time, and it's just been a success.
Wow. So did you financially prepare for it? Did you like save a lot of money just in case you didn't make good money your first year or first few
Yeah,
months?
yep,
Mhm.
yep. So I had a lot of money saved. Of course, going through divorce takes money. So, but I did have a lot of money, not a lot of money, but enough money saved to
Mhm.
be okay. Because I always, well, when I always think you should have at minimum 3 to 4 months, but at least 6 months. So I had probably 3 or 4 months, and then I was so all in back then. I emptied my 401ks. Like, I'm not saying do that now, but I did. I was like, I'm all in. And if I don't need to use it, I don't need to use it. But I'm like, I'm dumping it on myself. And then when I started, I want to say 30 days later, a friend of mine reached out and was like, I don't like who they replaced me with. And
Uh-huh.
she said, the stuff that you were doing, you could do a remote whenever you want to, on the weekends and nights, whenever, just log in and do the things that you were doing at the time. It was like programming benefits. And I was like, okay. So my first year in real estate, I kept programming things whenever I got home. It could be midnight and I'm up at night. I would just program and do the things that I would do. And so that supplemented that first year.
Mm.
So when I say I stepped out on faith and I didn't even know other things were going to happen, I was fine. And I was like, I'm still happy, but I was like the happiest I had been in so long, because I felt like I had freed my schedule from that whole 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I could still make a living and be fine with what I do every day, helping people. And I've never been a realtor that's like, well, this is your home. Like, you got to write an offer. Like, I always want people to walk in, you feel it. If you don't feel it, and we got to keep going. I don't want to be like commission breath where you feeling like I am forcing you to buy because I got to pay my bills. So
Ah,
that alleviated that for me. I'm like, whenever you're ready, you want to write a contract, I'm fine. We can keep looking.
yeah. You
Yeah.
were to call it commission breath.
Yes, commission breath. Have you ever been to buy a car and they're like down your throat? You like, dang, like, you must need a bill paid. Like, get back. Like, yeah. So no, I never I never
I
wanted to
love
be
that.
that person.
I love that. And I love the whole spirit of what you're saying too, because some people like, and I probably shouldn't even say this out loud now, the vultures are going to be all over me. But I feel like I have actually bought things that I knew I didn't like and I knew I was never going to wear
Yep.
because of the pressure of the salesperson. They were
Yep.
just like, oh, this looks good on you, or this is going to look good on you, or
Yep.
this is your color, or you got to get that. And I'm
Yep.
like,
You like,
oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but I'm spending money. I'm wasting money,
yep.
on stuff. So I do love that. And I think your buyers probably love that too, because the other thing is you never want to feel like somebody that you're paying or somebody that could make money off of you is making you feel like you're too much, like you're
Right.
doing too much. And then this is a major
It
investment.
is.
A house is like
Yeah.
very easily a lifelong investment.
Yeah. And one of the biggest, most people, the biggest investment they'll ever make in their lifetime. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why are we rushing you through this so I can get a commission? No, absolutely not. God is going to bless me regardless if you buy a house or not. So let's keep going. And clients will tell you that Sheena said that. Nope, you ain't buying this house. Let's go. Like, no, this is falling apart. Let's go. Like,
Right.
no.
Keep it moving.
Yep. One of
Onward.
my clients said, so what you're telling me is you don't need my money. I said, I ain't say that. I'm just telling you, we are not in no rush. Like, you find a house that is for you, not
Yeah.
just because you're rushing through this whole process. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's kind of how I like to roll.
I
And my
love it.
team is the same way. Yeah.
All money ain't good money.
Not at all.
So yeah.
Nope.
And that's probably what keeps people coming back to you, which I absolutely love. But you shared on the podcast with the other realtor, Carrie Little, you shared a concept. What's their nickname for you?
What?
What she say? You're the show up queen.
Oh yeah, she calls me the show up queen.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. Tell us a little bit more of why she pinned you the show up queen.
Um, because I do. If I know you, if you're a client, if you're family, you're a friend, and you're having something, I try my best to show up support for everybody that I know. I think as a business, I always was like this, but especially now as a business owner,
Mhm.
I understand more so why it's so important that we get out and support each other and to spread the word. A lot of times when I go to stuff, if it's business related, so if a new restaurant or new store that opens that I know the owner, I want people to know to come here, not just because, I said it, but it's because you have quality things or great food or whatever, but you need community to survive. And if more of us continue to show up for each other, businesses won't be going out of business like that. And a lot of times they will say, I didn't even know that was there until you posted it or something like that. I'm just one person. So part of me going to these things means I'm helping other businesses, like, people that I know come into these businesses. And then as far as just personal events like baby showers, things like that, anything that people have that I can show up, like your presence is sometimes just important to be there and be in the space. And I'm happy for them. So I'm like, I want to see the new baby when the baby is here, or their kids' birthdays or things like that. Like I grew up in a big family. So I'm like, I love family. I love community. I love people showing up. And if you have an event and it's supposed to be 50 people there and 5 show up, you feel kind of bad. Like, so no, you want more people to come out, connect. And I love connecting people. And people connect with me when I go out to certain things. So I'm like, I always say I'm not going to get business from things that I go to, but a lot of times that's how people will meet me because I go to so much stuff. So yeah, so she's right. I will show up. And there was a time where she was at an event in Chicago and someone walked up to her and was like, do you know Sheena from Instagram? And she was like, Sheena from Instagram. So she calls me and she was like, there's some agents here that follow you. She was at a conference and she said, they would love to meet you. This is where we're going to be tonight. And I'm like, well, I'm free. I drove all the way from Aurora to Chicago to meet with all these agents and like talk to them. But they have been following me on social media for years.
Wow.
And so I'm like, I didn't even know that they were in town. So it kind of, yeah. So that's another, I'm like, if I can pull up, I'll pull up and happy to talk about whatever.
That's so awesome. And I just think about that in general. I was looking at a fellow entrepreneur who is very successful and he was given some great advice, but I was kind of sad because he was like, don't count on your family and friends to show up for you. That the people who support your business the most will be people that you have never met before.
That's not my story.
And I'm just like, man, that makes me so sad to hear that. And I hope that's not my story either, but it just also helps us as a reminder the importance and the value of showing up for people who you say you love.
Exactly.
Like nothing is more important or valuable than that. Like if I have a birthday celebration, people always say, oh, what do you want? I just want you to be there. Like gifting is not my love language. In fact, I might have scored anywhere from 0 to 2% on the love language because I am seriously not in a position where I need or want people's gifts. That's just not my thing. The gift for me is you being there with me, us having some quality time together, catching
Yeah.
up, talking to each other. So I get that. And I can see how building that affection for one another turns into business.
It does. And that's what I always think about when people say that their family does not support them, or even new agents that are young, like younger than me in their 20s. So I'm like, I'll tell you this. I never had that problem because I always showed up to my, when you think like, oh, my auntie at this age, I feel like that. But I'm 43 and I used to be like, oh, that's auntie, that she older. But I still would go to my auntie's house for dinner. Like I always did the things because I still loved my aunts. I didn't think like, oh, they're old, I don't want to be around them. I still went to anything that they had. If they had a barbecue or Sunday dinner, I love being around my aunts and uncles and my cousins. So I tell the ages, like now people don't like to talk to each other. You have to be around your family and show up together. Then when you get a business, you can't be like, oh, you're gonna buy a house with me, auntie, and she ain't seen you in 20 years. Like that's not gonna work. Like it just doesn't work just because you're family. Like my family doesn't use me just because I'm family. They use me because we see each other all the time. They know I do good business. They know I'm not just because I'm not messy. They know that business is business outside of the family. Like, so you have to show up in that way in order for your family to use you.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful way to cross personal and professional. Excuse me, to cross personal and professional. That's a great way to do it. Now, speaking of barbecues, tell us about these events that you throw.
I throw a lot of events throughout the year, a lot for my clients. So we do events throughout the year for them. We do like Friday, tomorrow, we have a bowling night for clients. So family bowling night. So we'll probably get about 50 folks out for that.
Wow.
Where they can bring the kids and come bowl. And then we do a annual barbecue. We'll do it this year in July. We usually do it in like August or September. And this year we're calling it like the family reunion, because our clients, so many of them come to these events. They like, it's their one time a year or ever events that they all get together again and see each other. And so it feels like family because the kids play together at every barbecue, the annual barbecue. The husbands know each other. So we calling it family reunion this year. And then we have a Christmas event or holiday party at the end of the year as well. And then we try to sprinkle other little events in between there. And then personally, I host a lot at my house. So I always have like, I have game nights here. I have barbecues in the backyard. I have just random dance nights where they're teaching line dances. So it's just, I'm the house where everybody wants to come and hang out, but that's how I grew up. Our house was that way. So I just formed community here where I'm like, I'll get some food, bring your liquor or whatever for your water and come on and have a good time.
I love it. I love it. And so I've been to one of your outdoor barbecue events, and I've seen how many people show up, but I've also been to, I believe it was your 40th birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
Your network is vast.
Yeah.
How do you manage these events, like financially, because you don't charge for them, right?
Some of them I charge, but most of it's personal stuff I don't charge. So the 40th though, that one was a ticket because it was so huge. And it still didn't cut. It just covered the plate. That's pretty much all it covered. It didn't cover the decor, the band, the DJ, all the extras, the hookah lounge in the back. Like it didn't. But I feel that I have been people in that room tremendously blessed by everybody I could look around in the room, and they blessed me in some kind of way, whether it's business or something. So for me, if I can afford it, I'm gonna do it, and I want to celebrate. And like that particular birthday, everybody was there to celebrate me, but I also like to create an experience where people left there feeling good and had fun, and they might have met people and that kind of experience. So I always think about that. It's not about so much me. I'm the person that's the conduit to bring everybody together. And I know that about myself. So I just try to do the best job at that. Now, if I can't do it, I am not going to do it. So if I can't afford it, I won't do it. I've had sponsors that throw that sponsor. Like I had a realtor night at my house and my lender was like, hey, this was just personal. Like people were struggling with, interest rates going up, their business had declined. And I'm like, well, I bring everybody together and let's talk about your side hustles. Like, what do you do on outside of real estate? Maybe we all know and we can support each other in those ways. Because
Yeah.
we aren't, as realtors, it's different. We can't be like, oh, I'm gonna send you a client because I need the client. But one person had a Turo account. So like when you need a car, you can, and somebody's in town, refer them to her. This person had this business. So like we kind of talked, and my lender was like, that's a cool idea. I'm going to sponsor all the food and for you ladies. So like sometimes stuff like that happens where it didn't cost me nothing but to open up my home.
Yeah.
So that, that happens more than not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you also participate in events because you participated in mine on my
It
panel
was
discussion.
awesome. Yes.
Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Um, when I think about all that you're doing, and on top of that, the schedule of a realtor, how do you manage it all? Like, how do you prepare yourself to host all these events and to be there for your team and for your clients? Like, what's your daily routine look like, and how do you map out your year?
Yeah. So my days, my days in the last probably since 2019, 2020 have changed, which in a good way. So
Mhm.
I started my team. So I have a director of operations, I have a buyer specialist, and have another junior agent. So I no longer show buyers homes anymore. That
Okay.
was the bulk of my time.
Mhm.
Every now and then I might have like, a client that's like, I only want to see, I need your opinion. That's fine. But they trust my team because they have seen them. We have so many events. They know us now. So if you haven't bought a house through us, you know Tiana. So like if I say Tiana's gonna come show you the house, they're fine with that because they know they could call me. Like you
Yeah.
need me, call me, whatever. So that has helped free up a lot of my day because driving back and forth is so time consuming.
Woo.
So I do the listing appointments, which those could be like 30-minute appointments. And it's not that they're every day, but
Mhm.
it's more just when I go just pretty much to see the home. And if someone starts talking to me about something that's not real estate related, then I'm there longer. But typically 30 minutes, I'm in and out. So that's on the showing side and drive time.
Mhm.
But when I get up in the morning, it's usually like I'm checking emails. Um, I will work out when I'm in the workout zone, but right now I have not been. So I ain't even gonna
Still
lie.
look good, mama.
Thank you. Yeah,
Just
I just try to watch what I eat when I'm not feeling like working out.
mhm.
But so I spend more time, and then we have teams that we use in Outlook. So a lot of my teams, we do communicate through there. So I go in and make sure they have any questions that they might have put in there that I need to answer right away.
Mhm.
Anything I have for them that I thought of last night or in the morning that I need to tell them what to do. We work so well together. It's pretty easy. They know what to do. They usually are just updating me on things, and I'm giving them my feedback back all day. And I can see the communications with the clients because I'm copied on everything. So I
Mhm.
spend a lot of my time making sure I'm reading through things. If I have something to say back or how I would handle this different or vice versa. So I do a lot of communication with them pretty much all day. And then I'm on calls. So people that are calling me for leads, that they want to buy, and somebody gave them my number, so I'm talking to them about the process, or they want to list their home. So I'm on calls most of the day, and then meetings for these boards that I'm on. So I was running from one today. So if I'm on like board meetings and things like that, that I know what I'm doing because my whole day is scheduled. So everything has to be on my calendar. So, and I do have free time because I know where to put things. So I try, if I'm gonna have a busy day already and I'm like, well, I got a gap right here, I might as well fill something else in over here so then I can have the next day off. So like not off because I feel like I'm never 100% off.
Right.
I have to answer questions, but I might not have to drive that day and go to a listing
Mhm.
appointment. If I'm already going to be out, I'll try to like schedule all the things that makes sense. Like try to just balance my days, because if I'm here, there, I'm out tomorrow, this day, like I could have just put it all in one day and then like done and have a day in the house where I'm like just catching up on emails, going for drinks with my girlfriends. Like I do a really good job of balancing that out. And I look at like if I do go out with Michelle for a martini, will I want to do all that tomorrow? So I'm like, I'm gonna move everything over here. So then when I go out, I feel like I'm gonna stay at home the next day because I'm
Mhm.
getting older and I need a minute.
Some recovery time.
Yes, yes.
I
So
hear
I
you.
need an email day after that, the girls' night. So yeah, I do. My schedule is really on point right now.
I love
So
that.
then, but I do have time when things come up, randomly. I usually can find the time now. Asked me this 5 years ago. No,
Yeah.
I had no spontaneity unless it was after 7 o'clock at night. I could do whatever after work, but during the day, you couldn't say, "Hey, Sheena, let's meet for lunch." Never.
No, it's a
No.
hard no.
Nope.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, big question. I had the opportunity to come to your watch party, HGTV. How did that come about?
They had called me actually a year before, or they reached out to me. So I guess
HGTV
yeah,
did?
they did, and it's actually a production company that they work with. So I
Right.
thought it was like spam, and I'm like, is this really? Because it doesn't say HGTV when you get the email. It's like
Uh-huh.
a production company looking to film for a very popular real estate television show. We would love to talk to you. And I'm like, there's so many scams going on. I was like, I don't know. So I just said, okay. So I, scheduled the time to talk. And then when they called you over the phone, they told me the details. And I was like, really? And so they asked if I had a client at that time. And I did that. They have to be, I'm gonna get the show stuff away, but it's like a certain time frame of how things have to work. And I
Okay.
had one client at the time that it could possibly work for,
Mhm.
but they interviewed them and they felt like the storyline wasn't strong enough because it's not about me. They try to find the top producing agents in the areas,
Mhm.
but it's the client's story. So fast forward a year later, they reach out again, and they had always said, if you have somebody reach out to us, I'm busy. I'm not thinking about which
Sheena,
client would
this
be
is
great.
TV. What you mean you busy?
I know, but I swear I'm like not. I'm so in my zone focused. I'm like, I ain't thinking about that. They called again and they said, "Do you have a client?" And I was like, "Man, I actually do." And she, when I tell you, a ball of fire, like you didn't even see that night at the because it was so emotional for her and everything. Her father had just passed. But
Oh,
this girl is so fun and funny and will curse you out and like make and pray for you in the same. She is just a ball of energy. I loved her. So I told them, I said, well, she might be like way too much fun on top, from the other. But I'm like, and I called her and she's like, yeah, I'm down. And so they talked to her. They absolutely loved her. And she had been divorced. This was going to be the first house that she had on her own as a single mom. And
yeah.
she had just got her, I think, master's degree. Like it was so many good things happening for her. And she wanted this next thing in that chapter of her life, and they loved her, so we got on the show. So but it was like a week of filming. It was fun though, like the people that were there with us on crew, like I've never been on a TV show before. It's a lot of repetition, but they were so fun, so kind. Like I would do it again.
Oh, I love it. And what was the name of the show again?
HGTV House Hunters.
House Hunters. That's
Yep.
right.
So where you have to go through 3 homes and then the client picks the one that they love.
Yeah, I love that. And I love HGTV. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come and support my girl at the watch party.
Yes, y'all showed up. I'm like, yeah, that was a packed. So, like, when you talking about events, that was I had no more room event.
Yeah, for
But
sure. But it was
yeah,
a good time and it was awesome to support you and all the blessings that are coming into your life. So
thank
that
you,
was huge. That
thank
was
you,
so
thank you.
huge. And then when I think about Aurora, I call you Miss Aurora when, when I talk about you to people because I mean, come on, you got a day named after you.
I
How
do.
what is it like? How did you get and we're gonna get to some relationship stuff, y'all. We're gonna get to that. But how did it seems like Aurora is like your sweet spot. Like, how did that come about that you are obviously a top producer in that area and they decided to name a day after you? How did that come about?
That is, I mean, it's been years, so I don't know. When I moved to Aurora, I didn't think about, when I was 19 buying this house that I would end up with a day at 40. That was, I think, 43. 42. It's been all the years of all the things that I just was saying earlier, of showing up to so many community events and um, partnering with the community leaders, the different, like the mayors, the aldermen, the chambers, like going to their events, supporting their events, sponsoring their events, going to speak with the kids when they need me. I'll get calls like, hey Sheena, we're going to be on the news tomorrow, we need a stager to stage this thing for us so it'll look nice in the backdrop on the news, because they have brand new housing available. I'm not a part of that because it's a city function, but so I'm not the realtor. They don't need a realtor, it's city development, but they need it to look pretty. Okay, I got people, let me call them to help them out. Like, I'm always helping, like, I guess. And I didn't even think about it until I got presented with the Sheena Baker Day while you were there at the event, because I just, if you call me and I can do something or I got a resource, I just share it. So, and if I can come up and talk to the kids about what I do or how I grew up or whatever, they'll invite me to come speak and they need a speaker. It could be last minute. They'll, hey Sheena, I know it's 10 o'clock at night, but are you available to come speak to the kids at 2? If I can figure it out, I'll figure it out. So I think that I now know that all those yes, I can turn into, when they surprised me with my own day, it was for those things, which was just such a blessing. It's still like, I can't believe it. So, but it was just nice to be recognized. And I don't need the recognition. I have a lot of it, but I'm like, I don't need that. That's not what I do it for. But but it's not about that. It's about the impact. So I can say like things that I have done, not even knowing. You're not clocking what you're doing, but people are watching you.
Yeah. Hey, the epitome of the show up queen. I'm just saying. I love it. Sheena, okay, this is the question of the hour. Why are you single?
All of these things that I'm at, I think everyone asks me this question. I don't meet single men. Like,
that's crazy.
It's just like, I don't, or well, I've had one of my friends' husbands say, people think you're married already. So I said, what does that mean? It's like, you look married. I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not mad at that, but I'm not. So I met someone today. I was walking to my car today, and this guy was like, talking. I was downtown Aurora, and he was like, man, it's so much being developed down here. And I was like, I know, right? It's so nice, like all the new restaurants and things. He said, and you're gorgeous, by the way. I just know you're not single. And I was like, I wasn't interested in him, so I didn't say no. I said, no, I'm not. Like, I got in the car, so I didn't want to start that conversation. But what he said is what most men think. He just happened to say it. He's like, I know you're not single. So they don't even approach sometimes, or it's the wrong ones that approach that shouldn't be approaching me. Those are the guys who will. So I honestly feel like I gotta get, and I live in a family community. It's not like I live around singles, or where I go and like hang out, like me and a friend are gonna go out for drinks later. It's still in our neighborhood of where it's families. So so I have to and I'm not going to put myself online. So it's just not my thing. Like, I feel like I'm too known, so I don't want to be on a dating website. I would love to meet someone like organically, like that. But and I also don't think I was ready to seriously date until I had what I have now structured in my business. Which was a couple years ago. I think that I would have been a terrible girlfriend because I was so busy in my business all day because I didn't have a team. It was just me. So I would be at dinner, emailing, texting, like what. I couldn't even do this, what I'm doing here with you today, because my phone would be blowing up so much. But now it rings to my team. So I think guys' timing is real. Like, this season in my life is different than it was before. And I can recognize that. Like, I would have been, no. And I go on dates and I'm like, hold on. And I'm like, that's not fair to them. Like, so that's why I think the long answer to that is.
Okay. So what you said, not the right guy, it was approaching you. What would the right guy look like that approaches you?
Single, fully single.
Fully. Fully is the key word.
Yes, fully
Mhm.
single. Don't come to me half out of something and you know, like, so I am fully single. I am fully healed. Full, so I feel like those things. And of course, I want them to have a career, um, be a Christian or man of faith, be fun, be charismatic. Like, I'm on the go a lot and I'm like, would they want to go? Like, it's not gonna work if you're like, oh, you can go, I don't want to go. Like, it can't be that. And I'm not saying you got to go everywhere that I go, but vice versa. I'll show up to the things as well. Like, what's important to you, we can support each other. I love to travel. So meeting the guy that we kind of, I don't know, not mirror each other, but kind of balance each other out and have similar characteristics about ourselves. So that's kind of what I would look if I were to look. But I'm not looking. I feel like he'll find. I just got to be in position.
Okay, I like that. And technically, you are putting yourself out there as the show up queen. You are everywhere, so there are many opportunities for him to find you. So those are things that he has to possess. Tell me, how are you preparing yourself to be in a committed relationship?
Like I said, I think figuring out how to balance my schedule, which I
Mhm.
have on that.
Yeah,
Finally, yeah, finally. Therapy. I had therapy, like, and not that I even went like thinking there's something wrong. And I think that is something that should be talked about more. You don't have to go because something is wrong. You
yeah,
just need to talk out some childhood trauma or whatever, or past trauma, just to get through it, to know, and get some tools to, hey, if you're triggered, this is why.
yeah,
Things you should notice in the beginning, and things that past relationships that I've been in and I knew wasn't a good thing, but in my mind, I want to save this person or this. So those things I no longer will do. So
yeah,
I think that learning how to be a better communicator of those things when things trigger me, that I have worked on as well. So I think the healing part, the balancing my schedule,
mhm,
to allow space in my life for somebody to even come in, those are probably the biggest things that I had to personally work on.
yeah, yeah. And so I've been kind of talking with people a lot lately about this mindset, because we do, especially women, we really do have our list, right, of things, qualities, characteristics, traits, whatever you want to call it, that we like to see in our man, right? But I don't hear a lot of women or men talk about their list for themselves. Like, how do they want to show up and who do they want to be when it comes to being in a relationship? So my question for you is, one, does he have to be perfect? And two, do you feel prepared to be with someone that's imperfect?
I feel like we are all imperfect people. So, um, and like, we could talk about success and jobs all day. That's that. But when behind closed doors, like my family and things like that are what's the most important to me. That's what, gets you up out of the bed and every day to do whatever we are doing in this life. Like, so it takes people.
Yeah,
So so the question was, do I think I'm prepared to take on a person that's imperfect? Yes, because I'm imperfect. I think you got to have patience. You have to have understanding. And I probably, Gary probably will tell you this, probably one of the most understanding people. And maybe it's because of the past hurts or therapy that I've been through. I'm very open. So I
yeah,
think conversations with me are different. So like, if to sit down and talk to a guy, I probably have either seen, heard, or understand, but I'm very non-judgmental. So I
yeah,
think that a lot of people don't open up when they feel like you cut them off every time. Can't even say anything. Like, it's crazy. I'm now single, but I've been wise counsel for couples that are like, well, Sheena, can you say? I'm like, well, yeah, you're wrong, girl. He's right. Like, you need to not look like this. You need to get yourself together. You need to care more. You need to show up for him more. You need to.
mm,
So like, I can tell them these things because I'm like, I've seen these things. So like, and when it comes to myself in a relationship, check me on it. If I'm not showing up as right wife or girlfriend and you see that I'm not right, I feel like I know what to do. But if I'm not, I feel like if more of us that are, and I love why you have AIM, because you guys can help each other, like help you be a better wife, like help you be a better girlfriend. It's not all on the guys, and I've never been that girl. Like I'm not throwing men under the bus. Like no, because his point is valid too. Did you ask him why he felt that way? Why did he feel that way? And why did he do that thing that he did? Whatever it is. That's how you're going to get to the answer. You just can't blow up. Like you got to talk, use your words.
Use your words. I love that. You know, oftentimes people ask people that's been married, what's, you know, the number one thing that they have to do well. And people say communication, and that's just using your words.
Yes.
Using
and
them.
you know, and I was like back in the day when I was younger, I was more shy. You wouldn't know now, but I'm like, I would just like, I got nothing to say. Like, you don't got nothing. I'm so upset. I don't want to talk about it. And it's over. Like, rather than talk it, you know, like I don't have to I just did it. And I'm like, I don't want the confrontation. You know what you did. And I don't think it's over. That's it. And I'm block. Never call me again. Now I'm like, depending on if it's, you know, I'm not 20 anymore, I can say like, hey, you know what, when you did that, that made me feel this kind of way. And then if I did that, you know what, I shouldn't have did that. I'm sorry. Like I can be big enough to say that at this grown age today. So I think that I have prepared myself and I am capable of being checked in a nice way.
I love it. I love it. So when you think about relationships, let's say it was a panel of 25 men that were listening to this podcast today. Single men now, 25 single men. What would you say that you're going to do intentionally as a wife for your husband? What would you say is something that you plan on being very intentional about to benefit your marriage?
I believe listening intentionally. Like, listen, I feel like guys don't say a lot, but when they say something, it's like they saying something. I remember my grandfather, my mom's dad, he never said much, but when he talked, like you had to listen, otherwise you'll miss it. So like I would be or am a great listener and would plan to be a great listener, because I think it starts with that. How can you know, whatever they've been through in the past as well, or things that trigger them, or like I think that you know, you have to listen and not listen to respond. Like I actually listen because I want to hear what you're saying, and how can we not hit a roadblock because I was not listening and it's all about me. Like it tends to a lot of us as women, we want it to be all about me, we want it to be spoiled, we want to be all these things, but they are human beings as well. I have brothers, like I have dad. I'm like, I think, man, and I'm like, if somebody hurt their feelings, I'm mad. Like, right. So I'm like, men have feelings too. So I feel like to be a really, really great listener to start is what I think that would be one of the biggest things for me.
That is so crazy because God has challenged me to interview. We got a visitor. God has challenged me to interview 52 phenomenal women and interview 52 weeks straight. So whoa, that's my right. That's my
okay.
So, and so thank you for being one of those 52.
Oh, thank you for having me. I know you know a lot of fabulous women, so this year is going to be amazing for you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I'm hoping that it'll be amazing for everyone. So one of the people who I asked almost said the identical answer to the question that you just
really?
Oh. And that's why when you first said listen, I was like, I haven't launched that one yet, so I know. You know, so that was
hey, man, we're listening.
For real.
Y'all think we don't listen? We just talk and nag. We listen. Some of us will listen.
At least you will come through. Eligible bachelors. I feel like, well, no, I started to say I feel like you need to be on one of those bachelor shows, but no.
I know it's too many kissing, swapping, and all that stuff. I'm like, no.
I was like, man, if they weren't doing all that, then it
Yeah,
might actually be a good show. But
exactly. Yeah, no.
girl, that makes me want to gag. Like,
Yes, like you just kissed her in one scene, and then you kissing this one in the next scene. I'm good.
yeah, like they used to say when we was kids, y'all busting slop. Ew. Ew.
Yes, no, I do not want to share. No.
For real, for real. Okay, last question, and then I'm gonna let you go because I know you got a gazillion things to do. So, when the name of the podcast is Wife for Life, and when you think of that term, what comes to mind, or what will you exhibit as a wife for life, whether it be in thought or action or deed? What is a wife for life to you?
A wife for life.
Mhm.
Like what would I exhibit? You know, when I think of long-term marriages, like that are like close friends of mine, like my mom has been married to my stepdad for a long time, but not even outside of that, that's my mom. But my friends, what I what I think that I didn't know when I was younger, like how much admiration that they display publicly for their husbands. And I feel like back in the day I was shy. Like, so I didn't want to talk about nothing. You don't need to know what's going on in my household. But when I see these women praise how amazing their husbands are, and a lot of them are like brothers to me, so I know they are amazing. Like, that is something that when I think of wife for life, like these men do amazing things, and their wives support them in those things. Their wives um, show up for them and admire them and who they are and adore them in that way, and it's on display for everybody to see. It's just so amazing. So my friends and things, when I see that, I love seeing that, so it makes me think that's a wife for
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah. Sounds like who you gonna be. I love it.
Hey girl, speak it.
That's right. We're gonna speak it into existence.
Yes.
Come through, come through. That's
Yeah.
the prayer. Come through, come through. I love it. I love it. Well, Sheena, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on here and being one of my 52 phenomenal women. And I just really want to tell you, I respect and appreciate your hustle and everything you do to be a phenomenal businesswoman from 19 years old. I am inspired. I am encouraged. I am learning and growing from your life. And I'm older than you. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I believe strong women uplift strong women.
Yes.
You
Yep.
know, and
Yep.
that's
And I watch you as one of those wives for life. So we all can inspire in different ways. So thank you for having me. Thank you for sharing your space with us. Thank you
yeah.
for imparting your wisdom. I'm not there yet, but when I do, I'm gonna be like, okay, Michelle, I need your help.
And I'm gonna hook you up.
Yes. So thank you for
Oh,
everything.
listen, I'm trying to get you to move up this way because you know I could do some backyard parties.
I will show up. You're not that far from me. I'll show up.
I know you will. You always do. And this is the epitome of that, you showing up today. So thank you so much.
You're
And I want
welcome.
to thank all you guys for listening and watching. And I want to encourage you too to show up. Show up for your girl, Michelle, by watching, by listening, by liking, by subscribing, by sharing this podcast with others. Thank you guys so much. And until the next episode, happy loving.